to 174 and 175 to 180 saw increases of 54 and 100% respectively. Hey fam, welcome to Law Live in Color. It is Shar, and as always, I'm here to provide quick tips and experiences on the law school process and legal field as a person of color. I was actually going to do a fact or whacked video today, and I actually got hit with an alert about over-enrollment with Columbia, and I realized I did talk about over-enrollment. I did talk about this cycle a little bit in prior videos, even my most recent video. But I felt like I should dedicate an entire video to talking about it and this cycle, just to further, I guess, depict what's really been going on and to show you guys, and emphasize how you should move next cycle. So Columbia pretty much sent an email out to its admitted students, and beyond admitted, to the students that have put in seed deposits that said they're going to Columbia. They sent out an email, okay, and as follows. We are pleased to announce the launch of the Columbia Law School Exploration Fellowship Program. The Exploration Fellowship is a special opportunity for a limited number of members of the newly admitted entering class to post-fellow matriculation for 1 or 2 years. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, some members of the incoming class accelerated their plans to attend the law school, as many opportunities normally available, jobs, internships, fellowships, etc., were curtailed or suspended, which further intensified the already high demand for Columbia law education, which I will talk about. As a result, despite admitting fewer students than we do in most years, we currently have a larger incoming class than usual. To help moderate the size of our incoming class and to support you in exploring options that are now being reinstated, we have created the Columbia Law School Exploration Fellowship Program, which includes a supplemental tuition award of $30,000 upon your matriculation in 2022 or 2023, dispersed over 3 years, 6 semesters of full-time enrollment at the law school. Access to a catalog of certain applicable open positions, paid and volunteer in the public-private sectors. Fellowship offers will be communicated directly by the Office of Admissions. We have selected students representing a broad range of backgrounds, experiences, and interests. If you are not selected, you may petition to be considered for the fellowship, and your name will be added to the wait list. To learn more about the Exploration Fellowship, kindly visit our admitted student website. We are excited, etc. So basically what this is saying is that Columbia is offering an extra $30,000 if you decide to defer for a year or 2 years, which is wow. And basically you have, I guess, a job or a fellowship opportunity in the meantime. Now, the thing with this fellowship program that Columbia is offering is not offering to all of its students. I'm assuming, and as I understand, it is offering it to students that it offers to. So it picks a particular number of students that it offers it to, and it sends it to them, and those students can decide whether they want to take it or not. I was kind of like, not that I would do 2 years of deferment. I think that's a bit excessive. I mean, I don't know, I'm 24 now, so going to law school at 26 was definitely not the plan. I don't know if I would have accepted a 2-year offer, but the extension of a 2-year deferment is, wow, right? Like 2 years? Like not just deferring till 2022, but also you can defer to 2023. I mean, God, if this was the cycle to apply and go later, then this was it. Like, jeez. So yeah, briefly in that email, Columbia mentions the COVID-19 pandemic and how it has affected law school admissions. And I want to talk more about that and more about why it's so crazy this cycle. And I mean, I know I kind of hinted on cycle predictions for next year, but I kind of just want to give y'all a timeline for when things should pop off for you when you are applying. The 2021 law school application pool is honestly one of the biggest pools in over a decade, with more qualified applicants. And I know I said that before in a prior video, in my last video, but let me emphasize this. The number of applicants who have scored between a 175 and a 180 has doubled from prior years, okay? Like, I'm not talking about people that scored higher than the average, which is supposed to be like a 150. These are people scoring in the top 90th percentile has doubled this application cycle. So why are there so many applicants? Now, I touched on the reason for the LSAT being LSAT Flex. Now, this was a huge motivating factor. I don't care what anyone tells you, because I have studied 4 or 5 section paper test, and I've also studied for the LSAT Flex, it's a drastically different process. And I don't want to say it's easier, but it was easier. And this is why I say that. Because of the duration of the test, going from 5 section to 3 section, as I emphasized my last video, is insanely game changing. It goes from I think a 4-hour test to nearly a 2-hour test. And just that in itself, the mental endurance that you had to have for this test before is no longer needed. I mean, you still have to have the mental endurance, but it's no longer has to be as extended as it used to be, okay? So each section was weighted evenly. Now, I say all this to say the LSAT Flex is not going to be offered anymore. It is going to be the LSAT, but it will be offered online and you can still take it from home, which I said in my last video also helped because it created more accessibility to take the LSAT. There are other factors I did not mention in my video as to why the law school applicant pool has increased. You had COVID-19 that hit, and it really affected people that were applying to law school in 2020 because they did not want to go to law school in 2020. As you know, law school and a lot of schools were online, and a lot of people did not want to take online classes, especially for law school. I mean, you don't want to do it for getting your master's. A lot of people, like me personally, I don't like online classes at all. So if you're telling me I have to go to law school and do it online, I would be pissed. So a lot of people deferred. Well, I don't know exactly how many people deferred from the 2020 cycle, but I know a good handful did. And you had those people that did transfer over to the 2021 cycle. Okay, so those seats were already taken. So you already had a certain limited amount of seats that you were offering to students. You had George Floyd, and you had the protests, and we are still fighting. And because we are still fighting, so many of us, especially black people, as a black person, I want to see change. I'm not the only one that wants to see that. Okay? A council spokeswoman noted Monday that this year's applicant increase cuts across all racial groups. Black applicants are up nearly 23% compared to last year, and Hispanic applicants are up nearly 21%. The number of Puerto Rican applicants has increased an eye-popping 59%. This year, we have had more minorities apply for law school than we probably ever had. And a lot of that has to do with the change that we want to see happen in the legal system, which I find incredible. I genuinely find it amazing that so many people turn to the law to try to fix what's going on. You also have people trying to go to law school to get out of the entry-level job market. That's pretty much for any graduate school. A lot of people get their master's or JD or whatever because they want to get out of entry-level job positions, or they don't want to be in jobs for 10 to 15 years to get out of those entry-level job positions. You do have people trying to go up in the job market, hence why there are also more JD applicants this year. And again, to emphasize the amount of scoring going on, this year's applicant pool also remains notably strong. Each LSAT score band of 160 or above has seen an increase of 27% or more in applicants, and the two highest scoring bands of 170 to 174 and 175 to 180 saw an increase of 54 and 100% respectively. Those of you studying for the LSAT now, please don't be discouraged. Don't sit up here and say, I'm not going to go to law school anymore because so many people are going to be applying for next year and they're going to have these amazing scores. Don't do that either. So it's time for my heart-to-heart moment, and I guess my advice and how you should approach your application timeline. So this is what I say. Study for the LSAT 4 to 6 months. For 4 to 6 months. So you should start studying in January. You want to have all your teacher recommendations, professional recommendations. You want to have those all in before you start studying. For those of you that have been out of school for a minute, law school really wants you to have at least one teacher recommendation. So please reach out to one of your professors from undergrad. I know if some of you that have already gotten your master's into going to law school, yes, that's great if you can, getting a recommendation from, your master's, but they really prefer undergrad recommendations. So try your best to talk to a professor from undergrad if they remember you. My best thing is I always saved work from when I was in high school. I always saved my work. So what I would do is I would email a professor and just give them some of my prior work that I had in that class just to jog their memory of who I am and then go from there. Also on January 1st, when you start studying, you also want to request your final transcripts. Now, if you're still in school, this is different. You don't do that until after you've taken the test or around the summertime after you've graduated. I would do it immediately, like as soon as I graduated, I would request my transcripts, but you can also request them later on as well. I just would do it as soon as possible before you have to start applying. So if you're trying to apply for the 2022 cycle, start studying January of 2021, take the test around June, July. Also be wary if this is your first time taking the test. What I did, I signed up for a second test, okay? So just to have it as a backup, and then when I took the test, I was a little bit more at ease because I knew I had a second test on the way if I didn't do the way I wanted to do on the first test. That is my advice to people. I understand the test is $200, and if you don't have fee waivers, that's a lot of asking for you, and especially if you've already taken it a second or third time. But I have it as a backup. You will be surprised at how much you relax and your nerves settle when you already know that you have a test on the horizon. So it's okay. So I gave myself leeway to where I would take the August test if need be, if I didn't get the score that I wanted on the June test. So I took the June test, got my score back about, I want to say a month later. I believe if you first take it, if you're a first time test taker, you can get your score same day. It's an extra $20 or something. Which I find insane that you're making other people wait 4 weeks to get it back if you know that you can get it back same day. Just a money grab. And then apply by October 31st. I can't emphasize enough early applying just because it sets you up way better. Okay, your admissions is more likely to be accepted, and you are more likely to get more money the earlier you apply. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I do have a TikTok where I go over LSAT problems. That is in the description below. So if y'all want to check that out and you want to get some LSAT questions answered, please check that out. If you want a particular question done, let me know and I will do it and I will post it on there. I also have a personal TikTok where I just kind of do funny things about the law school process and relatable things as well. That is in the description, and also my Instagram is in the description below as well. If you guys want to hit me up on any questions or if you want to see something presented on the YouTube. I don't really have a quote, and I know that's on me. I've been doing a lot, so I just recently bought a bike. For those of y'all that have bikes, yeah, it's not cheap. I thought it was cheaper than it was. It's not. I gotta get a rack and everything. It's a process. And I've been doing yoga, and I've been just doing a lot, exploring more of Atlanta, trying to travel. So I've been doing a lot, and I'm doing my best to continue making content for y'all to watch, and more information for y'all to find out. But I do not have a quote, so that's why I've just been caught up. But I will have a quote next video unless I do a fact or whack video. So this quote was from me, and all I have to say is you are worth it. Keep going. You got it. Peace, guys.